I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is US Route 211. I'm just over the top of the mountain at Thornton Gap. This is heading down the west side towards Luray, Virginia. Just past a hairpin turn here. That's heading up towards the gap. Yep, there it is, my little red car. And I parked here because it's close to an old homestead I want to look for down here, the old Cliser homestead. So let's go down here and see if we can find anything. The elevation here is 1950. Three-tenths of a mile into my hike, I followed 211 down the side of the mountain a little ways to a point where one of the old roads intersected with 211. I'll show you when I do the map talk. And I pushed my way back in here. Actually, there was another car parked right where I was interested in it, so somebody else is back in here. I don't see them though. I've been looking around for any evidence of like a homestead or anything, and I don't see anything right now, but I noticed this. This looks like part of an old road, so I'm going to follow this down just a little ways, if for nothing else, and to get a GPS track, and I can compare it to the old maps when I get home. But I don't know if you can see that, but that's definitely, people have been coming down through here. And then I'll follow it back up here. I think the old service station and store and stuff had to be up here a little closer to the road, up this way. But it's extremely overgrown. It's really too late in the year for me to be doing this. I have to come back in the wintertime, but I'm going to follow this down just a short ways. So let's see where this takes me. Half a mile into my hike, I'm down to 1,760 feet. I've definitely been following the old road, so my GPS track down to here is going to show I'm almost down to this is heading down into Shanks Hollow. I'm very close to my Shanks Hollow waypoint number 7. You'll see that on the map, SH7. I'm approximately down to there. I don't think I'm going to go any further. You can see everything is over. There's the creek and to the right. And then here's the road heading back up towards Route 211. So I'm going to turn around from here, and when I get back up closer to Route 211, I'm going to look around a little more for the old Cliser place. Everything's pretty, it's too grown up now with greenery for me to find it unless I just accidentally bump into it. But I'm going to head back up this way. This is definitely the old road though. Like right there, you can see where they armored it up with rocks. On this side, the high side, they had to cut into the hill. It doesn't look like it ever had any gravel on it. This was probably just an old dirt country road. And it starts up there at Route 211. It heads down this way, all the way down into Shanks Hollow, and comes out at the bottom of the mountain. So I'm going to turn around and head back up this way, see if I can find anything else. If not, this is going to end up being a pretty short hike. 6/10 of a mile into my hike, I'm up to 1,850 feet. I'm within about 400 or 500 feet of Route 211. And the Cliser place straddled this old road. It was, part of it was over here, and part of it was over on this side. And from here back up to the road, it's really overgrown bad, which is usually an indication that that's where somebody lived and it was all cleared out. I think what I'm going to do is jump off and head up this way on a little higher ground, and maybe I can see something over here. Let's go up here and see if we can get up here on higher ground a little bit. Well, I'm wandering around on what I think was the Cliser property. Now there's a pile of something, but it's kind of unusual in that it's whatever's under there is covered. They covered it up with dirt. Now down that way, coming up here, I passed a couple of more piles like this one. The top of the rise is right up here, another 100 feet or so. So I'm going to wander around up there, but see how overgrown. It's pretty overgrown up there. Oh, there's a big rock over there. We'll go over there and see what that is. So I might mark this as being a, I don't know, it doesn't look like a pile of rocks. It could be anything that was torn down and then just, you know, dirt piled up over it. Okay, well now that's kind of interesting. There's a galvanized steel pipe, and then that black one, that's a real strange pipe. At first I thought it was an electrical cable. It's cut on the end, but it's real heavy. That black one almost looks like it was a a water pipe, maybe another water pipe. Real thin diameter though, but the inside of it looks like it was lined with lead, the black one. The big one just looks like a regular piece of galvanized steel pipe. So somebody was doing something up here. Seven-tenths of a mile. The elevation here is 1890. Right up there's the high point in this little area. That's where I found the pipes and some of the mounds of dirt. Now I'm pretty much right at the location where the homestead used to be, and if you compare the growth here and right here where the home site used to be, look how overgrown that is. So that's probably where it was, which is pretty accurate with the old map. And it's not very far from here to Route 211. You can hear it in the background. So this is I'm sure this is where it was. I have to come back in the wintertime though to check this out much further. I may walk around behind it though and see if you can see anything from that angle. Well, now that's kind of interesting. There's a real dim trail coming up from the road right there. Somebody put a piece of surveyor's tape there, and it looks to me like the trail heads on down this way. So there's another homestead down that way. I may follow this down a little ways, see if I see anything. I'll mark this also, this location. I got a feeling that's just somebody marking the route for the trail here. Okay, well this is probably not going to show up, but it looks to me, I think I'm standing in the ditch of an old road that's heading roughly, well, let's see, I guess it would be south towards my waypoint Cliser number 3, which I think is actually on property owned by Grandstaff. But yeah, this is probably the road that goes down to his place, and then it heads up this way, which is back towards Route 211 and the stuff that I've already shown you, the Cliser property. So yeah, let's follow this down a little ways and see. It looks like pretty rough going though. I'll go down here a little ways and see what it looks like. Okay, well the ditch of the road that I'm following is along in through there. It's way too overgrown now for me to try to get through there. So what I'm doing is I'm going up here a little higher up on the rise, and I'll see if I can swing wide and avoid most of the hassle and get down here to this Cliser 3 waypoint if I can, see if there's anything down there. Look at that. I mean, I'm in the middle of, quote, nowhere. I guess back in the day when they created the park, this was not nowhere. This was, people lived up here. That's one of the Park Service survey monuments. Today's my lucky day. There's another one. .2 miles into my hike. Woo! I've been bushwhacking like crazy. I'm within about 330 feet of Cliser waypoint 3. I'm about 350 feet away from there. The elevation here is 1850. And in the middle of all this tremendously overgrown land is this cleared out place. Look at this. And that shiny thing over there is one of those mylar balloons that you fill with helium that says happy birthday. So I don't know. If I had to take a wild guess, maybe some of the descendants of the people that owned this land, maybe they've just kept this one little spot cleared out. Who knows? But I'll record the location and we'll look at it on the map when I get home. But like I said, right now it's about 350 feet away from point 3. I'm going to go ahead and push my way through to the actual point and see if there's anything else around here. This could be the spot, because I mean, over here is a bunch of rocks piled up right there. So I don't know. There's like the mylar balloon, and But I mean, this is in the middle of nowhere. Well, nowhere now. And actually, the last couple of 100 feet, I found my way here through to here by just following a couple of these dim trails. There's one right there straight ahead. I came in on, let's see if I can find it. I came in on that one. It almost looks like there's another one that way. So we'll record this position and see if we can figure anything else out. If I had to guess, I'd say this is probably on the Grandstaff property. .3 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 1820. Oh man, this was a crazy overgrown bushwhack, even by my standards. Anyway, I'm standing exactly at the location specified in the old map. My waypoint CL3. I mean, it's extreme overgrowth. I've decided, I think I'm going to try and head back over this way and see if I can push my way through enough of this to get down to Skyline Drive. I can hear it. It's not that far. So I may do that and then just hike back up the mountain to my car. Because this stuff's crazy. It's not a huge amount of prickly, thorny plants, but it's just all this stuff you almost need a machete to get through it. This looks like somebody did live here though. I mean, it's extreme overgrowth. And I periodically found myself in the ditch of a driveway or a road heading over here, so pretty sure this is it. Well, okay, there's Route 211. Up there, through all the nastiness, is where I came from. My CL3 waypoint. I just decided it's easier for me to, I'm going to go over there on the other side where there's 2 lanes and head up the mountain. There's no berm right here on this side facing traffic. So I think it's safer for me to head over that way and head on up. It's about 6/10 of a mile back up to my car. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Thornton Gap, 1994, and this was a bushwhack to see what was left, if anything, of the H.M. Cliser homestead. This is track number 183. This is US 211 coming up from Sperryville. Here's the top of the mountain at Thornton Gap. And you start heading down the west side of the mountain and you come around this first hairpin turn. Now there's 2 different places that you can park. You can park right here as soon as you get around this first hairpin. Or what I did was I came on down here to this second turn and parked right here because it's closer to where I was going. So I parked here, and then the homesteads I was interested in was this number 1 and number 2, which were last name Cliser, and then also this one right here, which the last name is Grandstaff. So I started hiking here, just hiked down the road to here. Now I drew this in, but it's on the map it's a dotted line, but I drew it in dark to highlight it. This is an old abandoned road, so that's not going to be obvious when you get to this point here. But this was extremely overgrown, so I really couldn't explore this at all. I did push my way in over here, and the first thing I found was the old road. So I followed the old road down to about here and got some shots of that, and then came back up. On my way back up, I kind of headed off a little bit and started looking around here at point number 1. I found somebody had dug a hole and unearthed some galvanized steel water pipe and another pipe that looked a little bit like an electrical cable. So I got pictures of that. Then I saw a real dim trail heading off in this direction, so I started bushwhacking. When I got to about here, I found a couple of National Park Service survey monuments. This part is extremely overgrown, and I finally pushed my way, well, just before I got to where the X is, I found an open area right about here. Then when I finally got to this spot right here, this was just extremely overgrown. Really couldn't, if there was something there, I wouldn't have been able to see it because of the overgrowth. So then I decided, instead of trying to go back the same way I came, I just headed down this way to US 211 and back up to my car like that. Now let me show you the old map. This is Stony Man 1933, and this is that same area. Here's the top of the mountain. Here's the first hairpin turn. Here's the second one. This is where I parked right here. And then you can see there's 3 structures shown here at point 1, and there's 2 structures here shown at point 2. And then this was point number 3 right here. So that's how I got the locations. A little bit disappointing. I didn't find much, but it was extremely overgrown, so I could have missed seeing some things. Might be worth going back. It's getting too late in the season now for bushwhacking. You'll see in my video, things are the green. All the undergrowth is starting to come up green now, and the trees are starting to get leaves on them, and all that obscures your view when you're looking for stuff. Ended up being a fairly short hike, 2.2 miles and 388 feet of ascent. And that was the hike for today.